Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Every protocol is duly reserved. I still stand on the existing protocol. My name is Prince Chinedu Osuala. I am a business owner here in Computer Village, and I know that taxation is giving back when government has done their own responsibility. Please, when the director was talking, he spoke about double taxation, and I wrote it down. And when director, Madam, was talking, she also talked about how they have planned to enter into every rat hole, into every key plant, into every apprentice that just started business yesterday, to make sure they get that which belongs to government. But sir, we also thank you for the bus given to us, but at least if you have given us electricity, that would have been the best, because in Computer Village today, we have resorted to self-help. Every person uses generator, and that big generator now, this one is 750,000. My plaza alone spend 1 million naira in fueling their generator every month. So you see, where does this money come from? From we contribute 10,000 naira every shop per month, and tomorrow government will expect tax from me. Why don't they give me this electricity? At least, if you check 10,000 naira per month times 10 months is 100,000, and maybe when you give electricity, ask me to pay 20 or 30,000 naira every year. Wouldn't I gladly pay that much? So please, I am looking at how government will give back to us that which rightly belong to us, because that's what is called fundamental human rights. Those rights given to us by the Constitution. Let us have it, and when we have it, you now see a very smooth running operation in collecting this kind of thing. See, okay, for example, if your child is going to school on a free education and government asks you to pay tax of 50,000 naira every year, would you do that when you know that the price of ordinary private school is over 150 every time? So please, some people you see in Computer Village has a very big name, but some people are going to either go out of business very soon because the environment is now choking. Diesel 750, NEPA no prepared meter, and once they bring their bill 500,000 naira every month, you see double taxation. They tax you at local government level, they tax you at NEPA level, they tax you at your own plaza level because you must pay for the generator. So please, I am humbly soliciting that we are ready to do our own civic rights and responsibility to the government. But please, can government give us that which they are supposed to? And this will be able to, this thing now will as in make our business run very, very well, and will make more money. And the only way to curtail expenses is making more money. When you make more money, when you spend that money, you won't know, and it will not pay you. You won't feel that spending. But when you are not making, or when you are paying, and your income is very, very slow, you will fight the tax operators also. You will fight them because you don't have that which they are coming to collect. Thank you very much.
The questions raised, the observations raised, sir, they are very, very valid. Very, very valid. You know, every one of us, including us that are sitting on this table, we are expecting the government to do more. Because when the government does more, it gives everybody the impetus to be able to discharge their civic responsibilities without any form of force or coercion. But I want to tell you something here. At this forum that we are here, the issues raised, they are just issues that I'll call it for maybe political discussions, that people that are here, of course they will go back, tell the people up there, give a feedback, but I can tell you they are beyond us here. You understand? Of course they will go back, they will tell the respective authorities that at least they can report to, but you and I both know that the solution, the solution to what you have raised, you know, is far beyond everybody that is sitting down here. You know, the reason we're here is to solve the direct problems that you have, which is under the purview of these revenue authorities that are here before you. And we are here as a moderator. Where you are not getting the desired response, we will moderate to ensure that the desired response is gotten and received by your good self. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let me just second for help my chair. Yes, thank you, Mr. Prince. You see, like as my chairman has said, there are some problems that you can solve yourself as we are here. Even before we leave here now, I can call a phone call to one of the officers and it will be solved. But there are some of them that even our chairman, even our governor, cannot solve it without going to, do certain things, upstairs. So let us remove those problems that are constant, even to all of us, and deal how we can collaborate to solve our problems. The origin of tax did not come, if we read the literature of tax, it did not come that it is when you have provided everything for me, that's when I pay tax. No. What the history of tax said, this is your obligation, and it's from that obligation that government can fulfill. And as citizens, our roles are to make sure that those who will vote for our leadership, we demand accountability from them. So that is why some of these problems are common not only to Computer Village, it's common to where we live, it's common to wherever. It does not mean that the government is not working. Because if government shut down for 1 minute, you will find a lot of things will be in chaos. Example I used to give my town's union, I belong to the town's union. Example I used to give to them is the school fees of my son who attended King's College and my 2 daughters who attended private school. My daughters who attended private school were paying 1.something million as school fee, but in King's College for 40,000. What is the thing that is funding? That is tax we pay. Even the places in Lagos here, if Lagos State is not committing the money they have into the welfare of the number of citizens here, everybody from every state, from every nation is a mega country. So if we don't on ourselves contribute the little we have to make sure that government, start doing this, if we all fold our hands and say, okay, Lagos State, we are continue to spend. The question is that where will Lagos State get the money? Where will federal government get the money? I'm not saying that to be in darkness is good. But what I'm saying is that it is not us here that can provide electricity. Otherwise, if we can provide it, we will give to ourselves first. But the message we are taking out here is that the advocacy of how you use the money you collect. And I know Lagos State is known for that. You will always see the taxpayers' money at work. So let us tailor our question to those things that we can help you solve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Vice President.
Writing on what they've said, I'll just, because if we are specific, it's Lagos State, that's where we are resident here. And I would like to talk about the double taxation. In Lagos State, we do not have anything called double taxation. And I will say that it is because a lot of people confuse levies, charges, and fines with tax. My Prince just spoke about now that for the generator, the common gen they pay, they are charged a particular amount. If you are not resident in that plaza or taking advantage of the generator, you will not be charged that amount. So levies, fines, and charges are sometimes used in a general loose language of tax, but it is not tax. Again, Mr. Prince, you spoke about the fact that schools. I would want to let you know that as far as Lagos is concerned, we have free education. And irrespective of who you are, you don't have to be a Yoruba, you don't have to be an Hausa person. As long as the parents are residents in Lagos, you have free education. But because our Prince, maybe our free education, you want better for your children, so you take them to private schools. And private schools also gives us an informed opinion as to the type of income you have. So it's an issue of choice. But for those that want to take advantage, the government has provided free education. So we have free education in Lagos that anybody, whosoever, from wheresoever, can take advantage of. But if you want special for your children, then it also speaks to the level of income in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'll pass on the microphone to.
And like he said, it's not only you that's feeling this terrible situation. All of us are in it because we are all in Nigeria and in Lagos. But the succor for you is that there is something we call allowable expenses in whatever business you do. As far as FRS is concerned, there is what we call allowable expenses. So if you are spending 2 million naira per year before now in running your generator, now because of the hike in price from 400 naira per liter to 900 naira per liter or whatever, your expenses will definitely go up for that item. You are allowed to put it in your accounts, and that will obviously reduce your tax bill. So I think that's the only support I will give you. So I think the government will be doing good for themselves if they improve this infrastructure, so that the less you spend, the less you claim on those from those kind of expenses from us, and the more taxes you pay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Ifeanyi Akubwe, President, Code and Allied Dealers Association from Buta Village. VAT, we are having a lot of confusion from our members about VAT. Please, sir, who is to pay back in a particular market or goods? You have, okay, for example, I am an importer. I have a brand, and I have a distributors, and I have sub-distributors, and you have other sub-distributors, and these people are buying my brand, the particular brand I have. Who is paying this VAT for that item I'm selling? Is it me? Is it the dealer? Is it the sub-dealer? Is it the sub-dealer? Who is paying that? Because when you say consumer, we wait for the last person that is buying it to use. That's what I understood by consumer. But at the end of the day, you will still come to me and ask for the product I didn't use because I'm not a consumer, I sell. So who is to pay this VAT in this particular brand I'm selling? That is the question I want to ask on VAT. I will need to leave clarification so that I know what to tell my members. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Sunday Ogbo, a stakeholder in Computer Village. My question goes to FIRS, more especially. Because FIRS, which is Lagos State, I don't have much problem with them because the way they relate to us and the way they package their parts to us is friendly to an extent. But to me, I personally have been thinking what Federal Inland Revenue Service trying to tell us. And see, they are looking at us, for example, a business that registered them with limited. They are seeing that company as a saving bank or Dangote as a group because it's having the same limited like them. But that is not how it's supposed to be to me. For example, there are some members that have limited liability as a registered company name. But in their financial capacity, they are not running more than 5 million. And we will see at the end of the year, Federal land will give them 20 million to pay as a tax. So it is confusing. I don't know where they're getting all this record from. So if there is a way, FIRS, that's where I am personally having problem with. If I didn't want them to come to this program, what I just made up my mind to come. Please, FIRS, if they can borrow idea from LIRS, borrow idea to see how they can structure the payment in computer village, either by tax, by VAT, and by others. They can package it and let us know how it can be easier for us to flow in with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let me take the first, Ifeanyi Akubwe on VAT. VAT is multi-stage. What do I mean by multi-stage? Means that at any point in time, it moves from one, when you import from the port, manufacturer, you will pay at the port. If you have distributors and sub-distributors, depending on your economic or business model, there are like MTN. MTN has distributors. If the VAT is captured once, if what the distributor do is not really selling, is a price that you have, everything is integrated. You pay any other distributor. Every other distributor is not buying and selling. But if the distributors are buying and selling, VAT must enter. That's why you have input and output component. If the distributors and sub-distributors are selling, then they have to give account of what is the output. The output is the sales. The input is the purchases. If I buy 100 and sell at 105, the input and output will be on 5. If I have to sell 110, it will also, vary. But there are distributors that don't add a single couple, apart from that output and input from the original producer. Are you getting it? Like MTN, you can't say distributor A will sell a car 200 naira, another distributor will sell it 300. They are selling it at a uniform price. So whoever you bought it from, you don't expect him, to vary the amount. So that is what I need to say about VAT. It's still final consumer. But hello. You see, we have tax consultants here. We have tax consultants here on specific. If you have a consultant, okay, on the second person on FRS, my brother, limited liability companies, the rules that govern them is different. When you incorporate, you have within 6 months after the year end or 18 months from the incorporation to file returns, and that's what we call self-assessment. Self-assessment that you need to disclose what you have. If you do not file returns, if you do not even register, there's a provision in the tax law that gives the tax officer or authority to use his best of judgment to determine. That is why my brother here was talking about working with consultants. If you work with consultant will tell you the right thing to do. These figures they send to you as assessment. If you do not file returns, if you do not do what your own obligation said, the obligation is that you will assess yourself. If you assess yourself that what I'm supposed to pay is 10 naira, and you go and pay, there's no tax office that will come and start sending 100,000 to you. He will just ask questions. Can I know how you arrived at this? The tax officers themselves are also taxpayers. They know what the law safe. But the problem, from my own understanding, was people call me at times and say, I've received this. The first question I asked them, did you submit any return to them? He said no. I said, how old is your company? He said, about 4 years. I said, have you filed returns since that 4 years? He said no. How do you expect the person in his office to know how much you will pay? If you have filed returns, if he has told me that I filed returns and they said what I'm paying is not much, I would have offered free service. I won't collect cover from him. But if you were incorporated, you have operated for 4 years. You know, every day I'm a member of a town's union. I'm from Imo State. I'm a member of a town union. Each time I'm always telling them that the task law has been made that you should file your returns. You should assess yourself. So people will say you are not doing anything. When you ask them for bank statement, I have an experience. I said, okay, can I see your bank statement? They said, okay, this one. I said, if you don't give me a bank statement, the office has a way of getting your bank statement. Are you getting me? So the time has passed when you are doing business and you think you will cover it up. Assess yourself. Let the person say what you have assessed is not correct. Again, if you can engage someone, even our associations here can give you a free service. Everything is not money. Because we also go a duty to make sure that you do the right thing. That is just a candid advice.
Thank you, Vice President.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful explanation. Mr. Sunday Ugo and Mr. Ifeanyi Akubwe, don't forget that earlier on, when I came here, the last time I stood there to talk, I said something. I said, there's a reason why you need to listen to us LDS. I mean, and that is what is the reason? The reason is that when they are talking, tax authorities, you will not understand their language, right? What they have explained is the right thing, and I understand it, but I know that you do not understand it. So, as our responsibility to the coalition, what they have said, though it sounds like English, but it's not English. So, I'm going to explain it to you in your language, so that we are abreast, so you are equipped with that information. So that before I take you, I would like to take Mr. Sunday Ugo on the limited liability company. Please let your members know, right? Having limited at the end of your name does not give you any status that I'm a big man or I'm not a big man. Having limited at the back of your name gives you more problems. Tell your members, most times, if your activities, your trade, does not require you to have a limited liability company, please let your members register a business name. There are reasons why a number of people want to have limited liability company. When you go to the bank, some banks will say there is a limit to which you can give an enterprise. Trust me, your business never reached that level. As an enterprise, when your business is doing well, you can get as much loan as you want to get from the bank on the basis of the activity on your transaction. You dictate to them. But when you register a limited liability company as a small company, you have regulatory responsibilities that you must perform, and they're statutory. So that is why you have some people that have problems. So if there's no need, if you're not doing so much turnover, please use a business name and you will just be able not to have a lot of this problem. Then for Mr. Ifeanyi, what you said, Mr. Innocent Ohago, our DVP, has explained to you that it depends on the model that you assume for your business. And I'm going to use your business as a case study to explain the problem and the solution to you. You said you have distributors and you have sub distributors who bears the burden of the VAT. I'm going to play different scenarios to you. Scenario one, distributor A that you have, you sell phone, right? If I'm correct, you sell phone. The phone comes on its own normal phone, but that distributor, when it takes it from you, it decided to say, you know what, people buy phone, but I want to make it different. As such, it decides to buy a cover or a pad to the phone, and it sells the phone to another person. That VAT that you're looking at, that you call, is called value added tax. Don't forget, you sold a phone to him, he has added a value to that phone that you sold to him, and on that basis, of course, there will be a VAT element. Now, imagine scenario 2, distributor 2. Distributor 2 is such that you give him your phones, right? And when you give him the phone, it comes back to you. I have sold 100 pieces. And on the basis of 100 pieces, you pay him a commission. On that note, you do not need to pay him, or he does not bear VAT. Now, when it's sold to the final consumer, depending on the arrangement that you have, now that sale that you make, now let's assume that this phone is 100 naira. Now there's a 1,000 naira. Now there is VAT element of 7.5% when you are selling that phone. At the point of sale, 7.5%. That comes to 75 naira. Am I correct? Now that consumer that bought that phone pays you 75 naira. But let me tell you one thing. You are not to pay that 75 naira that you charge that person to the government. What you are to pay to the government, don't forget that you buy that phone from me, for example, and when you bought that phone from me, you bought it at 800 and you are selling at 1,000. When you bought that phone from me, I will have charged you VAT on that phone when you are buying from me. When you want to remit money, the VAT to the government, what the government wants you to remit is 75 naira that you took from the person you sold to, remove the VAT in the invoice that me I gave you, the net position is what you remit to the government. And I know that a number of our members do not know this. And that is why the Lagos Amnesty Society is always there to help to explain this to you and to help you resolve this when this kind of issue comes with the revenue authorities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Just, I'll find a microphone just to add to that. Basically, there's VAT input and VAT output. To answer your question, is the ultimate consumer that bears the VAT. Because when you charge VAT, whatever VAT input you have, you will deduct it. If you didn't add any value, the VAT input comes out, you pay nothing. But ultimately, whoever consumes, the final consumer, the way the VAT is structured, is the final consumer that actually bears the burden, the tax burden. But like he said, you can talk to, that's why some people went to school, to study tax and to help you. So I'll pass on the microphone to her.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Chinedum Bakwe. I'm the Vice President of Coalition of Associations. I would want to ask, the answer should be for the interest of all our members, not probably me that I'm asking the question. CITN, is it government agency or is it an institution of professionals that are in charge in helping business people? I know why I asked. No, before you answer, and you will still answer, but before you answer, please, we members will want a situation where we will get the impression that CITN is not there in collabo. I know why I'm asking. It's important that we understand that you are here to defend us. Because you've been repeating it, you've been saying it. That you are here, you understand our language. You should be able to convince us that you truly understand our language. Because we understand Nigeria. Professionals can come in, set up an institute, and because of the relationship they have with the agencies, they won't be able to defend the people that they are ought to defend. So we would want you to, we've already established a relationship with you, and we will want our members to have this impression that you are truly here to speak and understand the professional language because you studied it. You will now know how to apply it to protect our members. Now, before you answer, then I would also want to, this one goes to the state coordinator. The other time we went to his office, I have to also commend him because the way he spoke to us and the way he has been treating us since we established a relationship with him, that even gave rise to the issue of giving us that bus for us to use it to conduct our activities. I know they are doing very well, but sir, when you were making your speech in the office, I took note of that because you made mention of the relationship is to help us make sure everything is handled very well. It's not to, you are not more keen into using your government power to harass or get us to do what we're supposed to do. You also stated it here. So sir, in fact, majority of our members are having issues on this same VAT. It's just like he tried to explain now. He understands that same language he's saying. What we just want to understand is make this thing financially easy for us. Members are complaining. For example, someone will import telephone. For example, maybe Techno. Techno imports phone and Techno pays VAT. Maybe. In most cases, all those big companies, HP, they pay VAT while importing to government. And now a distributor wants to buy that same phone. And he's selling that same phone with a margin, because of the competition in computer video, with a margin of sometimes less than 0.5%. And now, because of, like Madam said, we don't have that culture of having so much records keeping. Now, federal government, because they have this thing with banks will now furnish the account statement of the value or the volume of what these people, what they do to federal inland revenue. And the moment they see that volume, they see a businessman that manages to buy a Tokumbo car of 2.something million that he's doing, because there's a volume of techno people that are doing this business, because phone carries money. And they see hundreds of millions. They see hundreds of, in some cases 1 billion. Maybe this guy is just trying to squeeze profit of less than maybe 2 million from the entire volume. And they will not come and smash in because of the value of what they see in that account. It is, as we speak, it is giving our members so much headache. So we will want, sir, the state coordinator, to please go use your good office. Since we've been interacting with us, people with good intent, with good spirit, you will know. Those with, I will kill you today, you will die today, you will know. Sir has exhibited that character that he wants to help us. So we want you, also now that we also have the CITN to also explain some of this, but most importantly, sir, you will use your office to quell that thing. Let them not look at that account statement, please. It's a big problem for us. Let me tell some of our members now, it's not something that we're supposed to say in public, but some of our members have devised a means where maybe when they sell, maybe they buy dollar, and they have safe where they will keep it. But it's risk. It's not part of the thing that the banking institution will want us to be doing. But because when you have this inflow and outflow in the bank statement, and they look at it, somebody that is making 0.5%, you are going to use him. Some they will tell you, pay us 200 million, 300 million. The guy is not even worth 50 million. So, sir, we want you to do that. Then, lastly, sir, I'm not saying, I wouldn't say the same word, my brother. You said here that you should adopt Lagos State formula. You gave us boss, so they should adopt from you. So I would want, why we are saying this about Lagos State is that sometimes, like some of we that are association leaders, we hear cries every time. Lagos State they've adopted this method where sometimes they will come and say, okay, fine, they have grouped all these people. We understand the nature of your business, you guys are not doing very well. We have grouped, oh yeah, you people should be paying 5,000 or 10,000, whatever amount. But that gives an impression that this is a listening government. It gives an impression that at least when we cry, they will hear us. And when you have a pool of all those small people come with those their small fractions of money, and you have a whole number of them now in the next bracket, it helps government to at least budget and project. Okay, in the next year, if we can increase this number, this is what we can get. But when you now want to start doing, you bring your book, or you will not, some of us don't even keep it. But if you can come and do a bracket kind of thing, group this in, pay this, those ones that are big ones, group and pay, we also defend them, but make it simple so that we all will enjoy this relationship or establishment. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for that your question. Time is fast spent, and the event is actually for the coalition, for us to listen more to you. And I'm happy that you are bringing the issues that you have, and you're directing it to the authority that you want to address that problem. Apparently, that is the reason for this union. That's the reason for this event, so that you can let them know the problems that you are going through. Sometimes you are very correct. Once they see figures, right, they just assess on the basis of what they are seeing, because there's nobody to explain to them the dynamics of the transaction that is leading to those figures. And that is why we are here, to be able to collaborate and be able to resolve those problems amicably. And Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria is a professional body. It does not have any affiliation with Lagos State Internal Revenue Service. It does not have any affiliation with Federal Inland Revenue Service, and it does not have any affiliation with the federal government. The relationship with the federal government rests on the fact that you need to register an association by law. Just the way you have your coalition of association, which is registered by the government, that is the way Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria is registered with the government. It's an association of professionals, and the professionals are saddled with responsibility to advise the federal government on improvement on tax policies in Nigeria, and they are to administer and to regulate tax practice in Nigeria. So where we see that the Federal Inland Revenue Service are falling short of whatever they are supposed to do, people are making noise about certain things, and we look into that and we believe that, oh, the other party have a superior argument. We go to them, we'll talk to them and advise them and let them know what is happening. The same thing with the State Internal Revenue Service. And if we now need to escalate it to the federal government so that those things become law, then you have us doing that. Also, the association have a lot of professionals who are chartered accountants, lawyers, you know, and other professionals within the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. And the Lagos Administrative Society is a chapter of the larger CITN. And the reason why we have done this, like I explained to you, is because we want to come in between to be able to resolve problems that you have. And I can assure you, we are not here to compound your problem. And that's why I was telling you, we understand their language. And what do I mean by we understand their language? Because when they are talking to you, they will be talking to you quoting laws. They will be talking to you quoting the relevant tax laws that empowers them to do what they are doing to you. But we are there to we know the law. We are there to now explain and break the laws down to you in a language that you understand. And that's what I mean by we understand their language. Thank you very much.
I heard him say that, I heard him say some things, that there are certain taxes that are applicable to businesses. I want to establish that we are not afraid to pay tax. In fact, the truth is, there is a pride that taxation gives you when you pay it. But why we try to become somehow pragmatic about taxing is that it's too mystified. So I want to ask this question. When he was talking, he said there are taxes that are applicable. For a limited liability company, we want to know the taxes that are applicable.
Secondly, there are some experiences we, the business people, normally go through, and nobody cares about it. I'll give a typical example. During the COVID period that just elapsed, I had a particular individual that sent money abroad for the procurement of items. But those companies that we send money to, after the COVID period, those companies seem not to exist. You can't get them on phone, you can't trace their email, and the money involved are huge. And as a result of that experience, a lot of us were losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some people had to pack up because even the money was, some part of the money was borrowed from the bank. As a result, the business could no longer continue. And I had this experience with a relation abroad in South Africa. During the COVID, government paid them what was called tax rebate for people that have been paying tax rebate. Here, does such thing exist, tax rebate? Secondly, just like one of us mentioned, a customer can come to my place. I don't have what he's demanding for, but my neighbor have it. That particular item, maybe it is 1 million. I pick it from my neighbor and I just put 2,000 naira and sold it 1,002,000. The money will register in my bank account. And when the tax people are looking for maybe activity, they will charge me based on that 1 million. I only made 2,000, but they are charging me for 1 million. I cannot afford that particular product. I can't stock it, but I know who is stocking it. So when customer come, I go to the person that stocks it, and I will collect it and just make my 2,000. But you find out that I will be charged. Secondly, this one goes to Lagos State Tax Authority. The madam said that now we are to, she said something about tax return. But before now, we had understanding with them, according to businesses, this is what you pay to them. Now, talking of tax return, I don't know how that applies at this particular venture. Thank you.
Okay, we can only take 2 more questions. 2 more questions. Yeah, because hold on, we could have taken more questions, but the challenge is that we are taking too long to answer the question. Time is fast, so let's make it brief. What's your name? No, if you can ask your question in 1 minute, we don't have to have too many preamble, so that they can answer your question. I won't take you for this, and I'll come back to that side.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kendi Akbara. My question is there any way FIRS can partner Bank of Industry to assist the group of like-minds in order to exploit their businesses and pay back their loan and multiply their annual return?
Thank you very much.
Bank of Industry.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mr. Mike Ochi. We are here representing our members as coalition of association. My first question is, are there a group of our members that are entitled to tax exemption? That's number one. We are business people. Do we have a group of our members that are entitled to tax exemption? That's number one. Number two, what is due date in taxation? And three, what is tax avoidance and tax evasion?
very much. Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Femi. My question goes to what one of our leaders on the table said, that if you are able to assess yourself on time and pay what you think you are due, then there will not be a need for FRS to give you some figures. I think the same should go for LIRS too, because I'm aware now that they are already around the market and they are going around telling our members to pay a minimum of 13,000 naira. And there are a lot of businesses that the nature of what they are doing, if they are to assess themselves, they do not think they are in that level at the moment, because the last figure was 5,000. And we believe that if that figure is going to be applicable to us, it should be gazetted. It should be generally known by every Lagosians that the minimum amount you can pay as a personal income tax is so amount. So I would want to know if individual is allowed to assess himself and is be paying a yearly taxation, why can't such individual go ahead to pay what he think is due or is right to him, since it's a personal income tax? Any other question?
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocol observed. My question goes to Chartered Institute of Salvation of Nigeria. You have said several times that you are on your own. You don't associate with any government organization. So I want to ask one simple question. Who pays your institution in those work you are doing? Are you doing it free? Are you NGO? Because you always say it several times that we don't associate with the federal, we don't associate with Lagos, we give it like that, we protect you. Are you NGO? So does it mean you don't make profit? Because they have not even talked one particular point, how you can benefit. And nobody runs business without benefiting. And when I see people who claim they are not benefiting, I'm afraid of them. Because they are the people, and that is why one of us here are saying that we hope they are not going to sell us at back and come and shout them towards the Lord. Secondly is that FIRS should not be using bank statement at all. The reason why we are saying this, you people that are shouting, curse it. You did not lay proper foundation, you want to build me. You curse it by yourself. It's not all this staying in office and turning your table now, you don't even see, calculating how much you collect from us. If you do the proper work, as everybody is, you listen to all of us. Here where our client is coming from. You are not on the field of business, you don't understand business. That somebody says something of 10 million with 50,000. You want to bill me 10 million naira. If I say I will not pay, you say you will charge me to court. That's the problem. You don't lay proper foundation of your job, so you don't need to charge us with statement of account. So when we are shouting this, you don't say shout because you can see 100 million naira in my account, not only that I make only 80,000 naira, and you are charging me 100 million naira. So the reason why we are saying this is that if the foundation of FIRS, if they did not lay a solid foundation from the beginning, they will keep failing. And that is happening to Nigeria entirely. No government agencies normally lay solid foundation. They only cut and join to collect money from we masses. So because what we are trying to, what we are making this point to know, because when you go to some of our members' office, you see 20 million naira bill, you see 10 million naira bill, you see 5 million naira bill. And the chartered institution are saying they will not collect 1 naira from us, they are just NGO. So but we want this thing to be clear. Concerning the Lagos State tax, the only problem I have with Lagos State is that they are not creating public awareness. I spoke to their members several times, and the chairman of Plaza Head. You are not creating awareness to people. So you must create awareness for every individual inside the market to know what we are talking about. Sometimes to pass information is not that easy, but you can spend little to create awareness in every market in Lagos State so that their work will be easy. Thank you.
So we'll take the last question. Please, let's quickly take the responses to those questions that have been asked. You will be taking, your question will be taken. I want the respective authorities to attend to those problems, to those questions raised. But I'm going to attend to this one, and that is the question that relates to the stand of CITN. Sir, I would like to let you know that if you call CITN an NGO, yes, it is an NGO. How are they funded? CITN is funded from subscriptions that are paid by the members of that association. And also there are donations from corporate organizations into their coffers to run their affairs. I tell you, you see me representing CITN, but sir, I have my own business that I do. What I do for CITN is a selfless service, and I do not get paid for this service. So also our members, the people I call my generals, that we work to put this together, we don't get paid for this service. This is our way of giving back to the society. We don't get paid a dime. We have our own businesses that are thriving well, and we recognize the need to sensitize people who do not have that knowledge and foundation to be able to help you out of your businesses. Thank you very much. So I'll let the other questions to be answered. Some were directed at the State Coordinator FRS and some to the Director Informal Sector LRS. So I will let them take it so that we can round up because our times are fast spent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, all your comments are very valid and they are salient because as I tell people when I go out, I say, if the traders are not in business, then where does the tax authority come in? So for us, it's important that you stay in business. And it's when you stay in business that we can now demand tax. I'll start from the question or the comments of the Vice President. I would want to clearly say that CITN is not helping you. CITN is going to offer you an unbiased professional service. And sometimes that professional service might save you money. And sometimes that professional service might be to enlighten you as to why the liability that has been given by either the FIRS or the SIRS stays. So it's a professional service that they would offer you. Another colleague of ours spoke about filing of returns, that why do they have to file returns, or if they have to file returns, why are we now saying that they have to pay this amount? So the people that file returns, you can willingly and voluntarily file your returns. As I said earlier, I said for companies you have from the 1st of January to the 31st of January. And then for individuals, you have from 1st of January to the 31st of January. That's why I said everyone here that is an individual or an entrepreneur or a business person still has till tomorrow to file. What does filing mean? You look at your business, you assess yourself, you look at into your income and your profit, and you declare honestly what you have earned in the past year, and then you pay. You assess yourself and you pay, either personally or through consultants. Then you pay. That is filing of returns. But the state government, the law gives room for presumptive tax, and the state government in Lagos State, through the Internal Revenue Service, has been able to identify some people in the market space that should be under presumptive tax, because we realize that their business is not in the volume. They will not even be talking of maybe 50,000 or 100,000. I've been hearing 1 million, 1 billion here. They do not fall into that category. So to ease everybody into compliance and to ensure that everybody is putting a bit into the government coffers, so that you can be a stakeholder when conversations happen as far as Lagos State or Nigeria is concerned. So you are allowed to pay what is called a presumptive tax. But that presumptive tax is not for everybody. And you have the choice either to be on a presumptive tax or otherwise, if you are categorized into that. But where you have businesses that are now within associations, yes, the presumptive tax is also available, but as a first line. But where you realize that when you look into your income, you realize that you should be paying above and beyond what has been said for purpose of presumptive tax, because there are transactions that you will do. You will want to apply for visa, and you will now be presenting a statement of account of 10 million, whereas you are paying 10,000 won. And you would wonder why they did not give you the visa. It is because even the person at the visa port or point already knows and has been trained to look at both your income and your tax vis-a-vis and be able to come to a position that how can you have 10 million in account and all you contributed in tax is 10,000. Or you want to build land in Bagada or somewhere and you are paying 10,000. So your income should avert your mind as to what you should be paying in taxes. So that is it for filing and for the 10,000 won. So also we have been doing a lot of engagement and enlightenment, sir. But maybe you might not have come into that. We were even scheduled to come to Computer Village, and Computer Village has actually been scheduled for the first week in April. But when we were told by CITN that you were coming to this forum, we decided that we should start from here. We've been to Ileko Market, we've been to all the regions, the Ibile of Lagos. We've been to Badagry, we've been to Efe starting January, and also Computer Village is listed. So after this meeting, we'll be meeting with the Vice Chairman and the Chairman of Computer Village so that we can have a conversation with you, and then because we know that a lot of people are compliant there, but we also know that we have a lot of people that are not yet compliant, and that's why we listed you. So we'll have that conversation with you, and we are hoping that we'll be able to go on from there. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, the next set of questions that relate to FRS will be handled by, I think, Mr. Innocent Jawala want to handle some questions. Because our time is fast spent, so that we'll be able to round up the program.
Distinguished colleagues, Mr. Chinedu Mbakwe, yes, the point to raise, I will encourage that to handle the issue of record keeping, very, very important. Like when I was given the instance that I belong to a tax union, these problems come to me and I give honest advice to members of my union on how to. But the problem is record keeping. If record keeping is not there, it becomes, bank statement becomes the easiest way to go. But I've discussed with the director from FRS. They will think over this issue of presumptive tax regime, which means that they categorize the business of certain level and give you a particular amount to pay. And if you do assessments of yourself too, it will also be very, very Then the issue of due date. Due date for a company is different from an individual. Due date is when you are required to file. For a company, if it's a new 6 months after the year end or 18 months after incorporation, you may not also do business during that time. But if you submit what you call statement of affairs, statement of affairs, that will be. Someone asked about tax avoidance and evasion. Tax avoidance is using the loophole in the law for the benefit of the taxpayer. It is not criminal. It's allowed by law. Another component of tax avoidance is tax mitigation. Using provision of the tax law fully. But tax avoidance is criminal and is not allowed, meaning that you refuse to pay tax or you doctor your records in your favor. My colleague has already answered this question. Rebate only comes in if you wrongly pay tax or you overpay tax. If you write, there's a provisions in the law that enables you to get what we call refunds. There was also debate during the COVID era. Even states and federal gave some palliative in form of debate. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, sir, I have just quick one. Yeah. Sorry, we are running out of time. We are out of time. I know. Quick one. Okay. Thank you, sir. Just like we've been saying, like we leaders, most of our members complain to us, and when we were having this meeting, when we sensitize them to attend, and just like we're saying, one of our members, who, in fact, is seated beside me here. In fact, he made mention of something. This is a business that I know very well, and this is a person I know very well too. You can see here, this is from Federal Inland Revenue Service.
So sorry. I think it will be very good if you don't reveal this man's
very good, sir.
Secret to the
well, that's why what I wanted to say, we will hand over them to your office so that you people just treat it.
On the general note.
Okay, sir.
Just an advice to the entrepreneurs or enterprises or companies. This issue of information we get, FIRS gets, is almost unlimited. We have very voluminous information about whatever you do in this country now. We are speaking. So it's not limited to even your bank account. Far beyond your bank account. It might not be in your bank. Whatever you import or whatever transaction, except if it's a small book, of course that one is solely by the grace of God to get to. But if it is officially through either CBN or through import, through custom or whatever, you get to know about it in one way. So I will advise, and most times like you said, even though you say it in a very friendly way, we do not understand your businesses sometimes. It is there for you. If I write you a letter that look, I check your bank account, I see 200 billion naira. Therefore, by my laws, I'm raising so much assessment for you to go and pay tax. It's not there for you to pick that letter I sent to you. Come to me. Sit down with me, explain to me what the nature of your business is. We have dealt with, for instance, businesses where what comes into the account is not their own. The money is to be used to clear some goods in the port or to buy petroleum products for some customers. So all we need is to bring for us documentary evidence that no, this is how this input is for me. That's the only way we can clear you from whatever liability.
Thank you.
And I will assure you that if you have tax consultants, which you must have, because you cannot deal with FRS as an individual. As you are coming to us, you must appoint a consultant that will deal with us on your behalf. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Then to add to what the state coordinator just said, right? When you are dealing with LDS, I want to try to shed some light. LDS, that's the Lagos and District Society, is an umbrella that has a number of professionals. As I'm a chartered accountant and I run an accounting firm and a tax consulting firm. That is the reason why I understand your problems, and that is why we're able to put this together. So coming to the Lagos and District Society, what you are doing is that your problems are being brought to a pool of professionals who have committed to that selfless service to help you, because if you are coming to me on a normal day without us coming to you to try to resolve problems between you and the authorities, I will be charging you exorbitant amount. But here, we're having you have this service for free. You understand? It's free of charge. So whatever problems you have, like the one you just brought up now, I will advise you route it through the coalition. The coalition will get in touch with us. It might be me that is handling it. It might be me, my vice chairman. My vice chairman also has an accounting firm. A number of us have different accounting firms that we run, and tax consulting firms. So any of us that is available at that point in time will be the one to look at that problem and solve that problem for you. So after this this event, just get in touch with the coalition and present it. It might be the case study. It might be the first case to test what this arrangement is all about. To test the MOU that we are going to have at this particular event. Thank you very much. And on that note, I think we bring to the end this program. It has been a that's what I'm doing now.
So it has been an insightful moment. It has been a very wonderful one. We want to thank the Coalition of Association of Computer Village people, all the entrepreneurs that have graced this, because without you coming out, whatever plan we have put together to try to help will be up to nothing, because we have seen it and we have seen, okay, we have looked at a way to be able to impact positively on the businesses of a common entrepreneur in the computer village. We are not, the idea is to help all the SMEs that are operating within the system and to help them resolve their problem. More of this kind of forum will be organized at your request. If you need it, and we're going to be organizing some other things to educate you and sensitize you, so you know your rights and you know where, what kind of taxes you will need to pay as relates to the kind of organization you are running, whether you are running an enterprise or you are running a limited liability company. Also, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Federal Land Revenue Service, who gave us listening here, because we went to them. We let them know that, okay, we have people that have problems and we need you to come and sit down and listen to the problems that they have, so that we can all jointly come together and see how you can provide solutions to them. Also, the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, the chairman of Lagos Internal Revenue Service, supported this particular motive because they saw the need to carry out this particular exercise. And also my president of the institute and the deputy vice president, who took time out of their time to grace this occasion. I would like to say a very big thank you for coming. And also all the members of my generals, the tax controllers of Federal Land Revenue Service that are present, the chairperson of SWIFT, and also I would like to thank the mother who is here, Mrs. Olu. I'll give her 1 minute to address us. She was the past chairman of our district of excellence and a professional as well. And she's an elderly person, even if it looks like, okay, yeah, I'm a young person, we will lie to you, and that will not lie to you. So let her give you like 1 minute for her to address you, then we bring the session to a close. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate your time.
And the entrepreneurs, sitting in the hall. I greet everybody, and I still stand on the 66 protocol while we're still on the program. I think we have come a long way. I mean, Lagos District of the State of Taxation of Nigeria. I mean, 2003 and 2004, I was the chairman, and I know that we have been going through all this kind of, interaction with, taxpayers. And I believe that we are still going a long way from here too, because if you notice, everything we're talking about is about laws. Tax is about laws. There is nothing you can discuss about tax that is not related to laws. So for the business people, you need a consultant. If you cannot, because I guess all of you are very busy, and you cannot go through all the 3 days, 30 days, all the statutory laws. I don't think you can go through it. So, but for the CITN is just a professional body, and we have practitioners, we have professionals also. And I think the essence of this is just to assist the business people to pay their taxes. Like Madam said in LRS, she said if there is no taxes, if there is no business, there are no revenue, no taxes. So I think, on behalf of CITN too, I thank you all for coming. And I pray that your business prosper year from now, year after year. And for my fellow professionals too, that are in the profession, I pray that God will continue to guide them. And I wish you all Johnny Mercy's back home as we go to our respective businesses, homes and businesses. May God be with all of us.